Sup Nerds, Free 99 here. Welcome back to some more Pokepath TD. We are here at Route 33, the final map of the original, I guess, update that when we first started playing. Obviously, they have added 3 more since then. We now have 1, 4, 2, 4, and 3, 4. But when we first started this series, this was the final map. And as you can see, it's got this cool snowy mountain aesthetic. We've got a Reggie temple up here on the top left, which is a nice touch. Not exactly sure which one this is supposed to be, but I'm assuming they made it generic enough that it could be any of them. I'm just assuming by the eye patterns on these columns over here. Also, as per tradition, since it is a brand new map, let's see if there are hidden Pokemons around. I don't think there's gonna be one. Maybe they just added 2. Because I'm sure we would have seen a 3rd one by now if it was more than 3. Or maybe I'm just terrible at finding them. A few more locations here in the bottom. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any hidden Pokemons in this map. But that's unfortunate. But anyways, let's just go on for the team setup here. This is what I've decided to go with. Obviously, the path is going to start down here in the bottom. It's going to snake away. It's going to snake its way down at the bottom, do a little C-turn here, and then it'll like zigzag around these 2 locations, and then finally go up to this left hole, because as you can see, the right hole is blocked. We've got 8 field locations. We've got 6 grass, no water, even though there is a bit of water down here. Although, if we did put a Pokemon down here, I'm sure it wouldn't be that useful. And then 2 mountain locations. So with that knowledge, I've decided to go with this team. In the first location, we've got Hawlucha that switches out for Honchkrow. Hawlucha, which, by the way, doesn't have a name yet. I thought I gave it a name some time ago, but I guess I never got around to it. You will be El Toro Fuerte. Oh, you cannot. That sucks. Too many. Well, maybe just Toro Fuerte. Does that work? Is that how you spell that? Shout out to anybody who watched Jackie Chan Adventures growing up. But I believe this is how you spell the luchador that was in the show. And if it's not, my apologies to every Spanish-speaking person that may or may not watch this. But yes, so we've got Hawlucha that can shred armor, which we would want up in front, as armor damage is, I believe, armor reduces incoming damage, and as long as it has armor, it'll take reduced damage. That's why you see high amounts of armor and very little health. So we want that up in front. During invisible waves, though, we would rather have Corvid's True Sight in order to reveal invisible enemies and make it easier for the rest of the team to take them out. Corvid, actually, yes, Corvid. Corvid, the Honchkrow, is mostly here to just reveal the invisible enemies. They don't really need to one-shot and taking them out. But moving along, we've got the Sneasel... Farfetch'd or Sneasel Weavile Farfetch'd Weavile combo here with Legion Arditto copying the Weavile. Something I forgot to mention. I did a bit of off-screen grinding. As you can see, a lot of our Pokemon are level 75 plus. Each of them will be at least 65. As you can see here, Greninja and Grumpig have also joined the rest of the team, along with Arbok is 65, as well as Ariados. I believe this was 50 the last time you saw. We're getting to the end of the game. There's this map, 3 more ahead of it, and then we just have to 100% 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more to go. So we've definitely passed the halfway point. So I would like the team to be, level a high enough level that we should be able to just cruise on by with the rest of the maps to go from here, and maybe get to the boss fights as well. So yeah, I've done some off-screen grinding, but continuing on, Scratchers and Legion both have the ability critical hits do twice damage, and at basically 60%, that means just about 2/3 of every attacks will crit, and at a recharge of 5 seconds or 0.5 seconds, that means it gets 2 attacks every second. So you're looking at roughly 1 crit every second. And then Duck pairs amazingly with them because Duck has the ability to increase the crit damage of Pokemon within range by 50%. So instead of doing 200% damage with Scratchers and Legion, they now do 250%. Did I not save these with the held items? Which is a little annoying. I believe you had that. And then this was the DPS one? Yep. Everything else saved? No, Hawlucha should not be wearing the boots. You do not need the boots right now. Instead, you can wear... What can you wear? There's really no slow around you or any type of CC. I guess you can have healing for now. You can have... Wait, what is your crit chance? Oro Fuerte has 30%. That's not bad. But I think Reptile has a higher chance by like 4%. So yeah, sure. We'll give them the slow. And then remember to save this. And then load number 2. Or I guess we can do save. Whoop. I did that wrong. One moment. And we're back. Instead of making you watch me painfully go through a bunch of menus and clicking the improper buttons, I've decided to just cut that out. But continuing on, we've got El Toro Fuerte holding the Soothe Bell, which will give us extra health. In the later levels, there's going to be a Pokemon or two that pass on by. If El Toro Fuerte is able to deal enough damage during a round, they should be able to heal us some health. Unfortunately, there's really not much choice that we have right now in terms of held items. So that's what they're going to stick with for now. Scratchers and Legion both have DPS increasing items, which I'm hoping will multiply when they do crit. Duck, of course, has their own personal item. Can only be held by Farfetch. Doubles critical hit chance and critical hit damage. So you're looking at about 66% crit at a... I don't know if Duck actually boosts itself with its own passive. I am assuming so. So if it does, then you're looking at 400%? No, 300% crit chance? Or crit damage? But at 137 power, it's not really going to amount to much. They're mostly just here to make sure our 2 single target DPS hits a little bit harder. Speaking of making sure our single target DPS hits hard, we've got Lighthouse the Ampharos. They attack every 2.4-ish seconds, and every single time they attack, everybody inside their area will be damaged, and when they get damaged, they have a 30% chance to be stunned for 1.5 seconds. Not really that bad of a chance, especially when you're hitting, 10, 20 different Pokemon that are passing by. We reduced it by 0.43 seconds by giving them the Carbos held item. In the tall grass, we've got Christmas Tree, which has the ability to double its power in tall grass. So you're looking at 850 damage every basically 1 second with a crit chance of 33%, 34%. And when they do crit, they slow the target for 0.2 seconds. It's not a lot, but it should help when it comes to dealing damage to our enemies. And then beside them, we've got Backpack the Lilligant. Haven't used this in a while, but they are really strong. Fires projectiles up to 3 enemies at once. Normally, yes, but the Choice Scarf reduces the number of projectiles to 1, so they lose 2, but decreases recharge time by half for each lost projectile. So that's why their 1.77 seconds is now reduced to 0.44 seconds. So technically they attack more than twice per second. Critical hit chance doesn't really matter. The power of 505 isn't bad though. Unfortunately, they are a ring, which means they do have a bit of a dead zone. But considering the area of Pidgeot this is Pidgeot and Flygon, it should more than make up for it. Also, Sceptile's attack range is still within Lilligant's, so there's enough coverage in the dead zone that I don't feel worried about it. Speaking about Pidgeot and Flygon, Eagle-Eye, we have... Whoop, that's not what I meant. They both have the same ability to double their range while standing on top of mountains. So Tempest, the Pidgeot, goes from 180 to 360, as well as Eagle-Eye here. They both basically have the same damage. Eagle-Eye attacks slower but does more per hit, whereas Tempest attacks faster but does less per hit. I'm just gonna assume that they both on average do the same amount. Eagle-Eye does have better crit chance though, so there is that. Also, their health items, I believe, does more or less the same thing. In terms of Eagle-Eye, damage is increased by 25% if the enemy is further than 150 range, and at 360 range, basically everything in the outer circle should be taking that increased damage. I clicked the wrong green Pokemon. There we go. Decreased by 25%, if not, so that means they do lose more, they do lose damage if they're in this, like, final curve over here, but that's where Clefable comes in. More of that in a minute. Tempest has the sharp beak. The further the range and the closer the attack, I'm not really sure that this is worded properly. The more damage it deals, up to an additional 50%, only active on mountains. I'm just because how it's worded, I'm assuming that Pokemon that are close by and Pokemon that are far away take 50% more damage, and then there's gonna be like a dead zone in this middle bit where maybe they don't take any increased damage at all. At least that's how I'm seeing it. I could be horribly wrong. But last but not least, we've got Space the Clefable. 347 damage doesn't sound like a lot, but it does deal 1 additional damage for each star we have. Right now we've got 600 stars, so this is actually 947 damage every 1 second, and their range is increased by 60 because the star candy that they're holding, which gives them 0.1 additional range for every star. So 600 times 0.1 is 60. So it's got a range of 200. It can hit quite a big space here. I'm assuming each Pokemon will have to travel 1, 2, 3 in front of Clefable. So that's, 3 chances to deal heavy damage to them. But yeah, that's basically the strat for this. Let's just hope it works. Hit auto and see how far we get. And that's as far as we get on our first attempt. Let's hit retry here so we get to the checkpoint. It looks like we died to high health opponents, such as the Snorlax, the, what was the other one? It was like the Seismitoad? Which means we're gonna need to switch up our strategy here. I think it's got to be the Weavile and Ditto that have to go. That was not Weavile or Ditto. You know what? Let's hit remove all. Because we need to add Ditto second in order to copy what we put in first. And I think we would need, what if we do something like double anti-health? So what if we do something along the lines of Gengar? Since it has the ability to put nightmare stacks on enemies. Nightmare stacks deals damage equal to 20% of this Pokemon's power per second. Which means if we can stack this early enough onto the enemies, as they're running down the track, they'll just take more and more damage from the nightmare that Gengar puts on them. Let's try to do Gengar and then Ditto copy Gengar. And then what if we do something crazy and put Hawlucha and Machamp in? So we have double anti-health and as well as double anti-armor. Maybe this is a thing? We'll put Bad Dreams and Legion right after them. Also, we would want to stack the damage more than deal damage ourselves. So I feel like we should go for the other Ditto item that decreases attack speed. Yes, they will deal less damage, and thus the stacks will do less per stack. But I'm hoping with the increased attack speed that that it'll even out. So like instead of maybe putting 4 stacks on a Pokemon, it'll put 5, and that'll even out the damage that we lost. So those two there, I'm okay with. I think we still need to put in Ampharos. I still think the Flygon, Pidgeot, Clefable at the end was fine. Which leaves us with 2 more spots to fill. We'll put... It doesn't really matter which one goes where. But maybe it does, so we'll do that. And then maybe put you guys closer. So that when the stun hits, that'll give you more opportunity to put on the nightmare stacks. I do like that idea. And then I do like the idea of putting a Corsola somewhere so that we have a slow going. Unfortunately, it does have a dead zone, but because of how much area it covers with the ring, it should be okay. If we swap you one more side, do you hit more? I'm not entirely sure. We'll leave you here for now. You can slow for the anti-armor, and then we can stun for the anti-health. That leaves us 1 more slot open. Let's put Clefable up. And the last slot, I think Sceptile is still fine. The increased damage while they're in the grass, I think is still good. Now we have held items to mess around with. So who's gonna hold what? I think... What can you hold? You can have the curse tag, or spell tag. Holder deals 15% more damage for each status. Burn, stun, slow, poison. Which means if we get a stun off, Gengar should be dealing more damage to them. Or maybe the slow from Corsola will let them deal more damage. I think that's fine. Which means Beefcake gets... Wait, okay, if we're ramping damage, then maybe you should be getting the flat 10. Flat 15, I'm sorry. If you get the flat 15, that means Beefcake can get the increased damage because 15% of 1,382 will be a lot more than 15% of 469. So I think that's the play here. Everybody else has something, so that's fine. let's go ahead and save this in 1. And then we can go remove Machamp, add in, where is Honchkrow? Add in Honchkrow. We'll put it to where Machamp used to be. We'll save this in 2. And then I guess, because I'm a little anal about this, we'll remove Honchkrow, put back in Machamp. And that way it looks nicer when we swap between the two of them. Save this in 1. Ooh, and then we never put anything on you. So I guess we'll put the spell tag. And then we'll save you in 2, I believe. Did I do all those menus properly? I believe so. Everybody has a nickname, which is amazing. Let's try and see if this team will do any better. Alright, so our first idea was better than our second. But it's good to know that this doesn't work. Maybe we go for AoE, so instead of Gengar and Ditto, we go for... Well, again, we're gonna have to remove all... What if we go for Lucario Ditto? Ditto's over here. And then, what was it? It was Machamp. Well, Machamp, not yet. We're gonna want Ampharos. We're gonna want Flygon, Pidgeot, we want Clefabulin, we want Corsola, we want Sceptile, and then for the last 2, we would want Hawlucha, Machamp, and then we would go here, we would go here, we would go... Lighthouse is pretty much in the same spot, Legolas was fine in there, El Toro Fuerte, Beefcake, we got Eagle Eye down here, we had Tempest up here, Face over there, and Christmas Tree over there. Is that everybody? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10? Yep. That is everyone. Let's go ahead and save this in 1. And then let's go ahead and get rid of Machamp, add in Honchkrow. Set them down here, give them the Machamp held item, which was this, I believe. Save this in 2. And then we can try this team. Maybe it's a little better. So we're gonna stop this for a hot minute because I don't think Legion is holding the right item. I would rather have them deal more damage at a slower pace than less damage at a faster pace, because we want to deal raw damage instead of relying on our passive. So that's the first thing. Second off, 521,000 Digidolin, so we could upgrade somebody, and the only one right now that isn't level 75 is Eagle Eye. Is that enough? We could give them a ×5. So that increases all their stats just a little bit more. And then hit auto and hopefully we get farther than wave 33. Okay, so we did make it past 35, but we're still dying to these seismatodes. One last thing I want to try. What if it's space that's the problem? If we remove you, and then we add in... Where am I looking for? If we add in Armaldo. Because one thing I've noticed is that this spot over here, where space is being held in... Oh, but your range isn't that great. That kind of sucks. Okay, so what if... Okay, maybe that wasn't the play. If we reload this, what if we put you up here? What if we switch this? Is this gonna be a little better? Because the seismatode do tend to clump up near the end here, and maybe a bit of AoE when they're climbing these 3 stages to get to the end wouldn't be so bad. Also, Clefable can hit quite a bit of distance down here, so maybe this will be better. Let's find out. Nope, unfortunately, we actually did worse than our second try. Yeah, it looks like we're just gonna have to go back into the drawing board with this map. Actually, wait. I want to try one last thing. The grass area up here can extend into the second and third pass by. So maybe banking all the Pokemon on the bottom is the wrong thing to do. And instead we should be banking on some grass mons. So what if we do... What are we gonna multiply here? What if we do... maybe Sceptile? If we Sceptile Ditto, Lilligant can come in, and then we can put in Pom Pom, which is down here. That's fine. I think we still need Pidgeot. I think we still need where is Flygon? Right there. And I still think Clefable maybe? Or maybe not Clefable. I do like having a bit of AoE at the end. But Clefable's Space's range is just too good with the Star Suite. So I think they have to be in. I think we would still want the Slow and Stun. And then we would still need some sort of anti-armor. So what if we try this idea? Is it going to be any better? Who knows? But I'm willing to test it out. So Legolas could probably go here then. And then Lighthouse can go... We would have to give you the boots. But you're terrible with the boots? So maybe Legolas gets... Legolas can't even hold the boots. So where does that leave us? So like this is the best place for you? Unfortunately? Maybe we just don't do Lighthouse then. Or what if we put you up here instead? Closer to the front so you can stun things as Halucha is taking them out? Maybe that's the play? And if they don't get stunned, Legolas can come in with the Slow instead? It's worth a shot. And then we can go Christmas Tree down here is still fine. Backpack's Ring. Backpack's Ring over here isn't that bad. They can hit more. I'm okay with this. Pom Pom, what's your range looking at? Not good. What if we do this instead? Oh, you still can't reach. Okay. So it's still these two like this, I believe. Maybe it is like this, just because you can hit a little bit in the front. This is fine. I'm okay with this. We'll put Tempest up here. We'll put Eagle Eye over here. That's 2, 4, 6, 8. What are we missing? We're missing space that used to be here. And we are missing Legion, which goes to this spot, I guess. And then Christmas Tree can crit and slow them. So both Legion and Christmas Tree can deal damage. I think that's okay. Pom Pom, you can hold the damage in hopes that it doubles. Pom Pom, by the way, has the same ability as Sceptile. So Jumpluff doubles its power if it's in tall grass. So you're looking at 436 damage every basically 2 per second. So that's fine. I think everybody's held item here is fine. Maybe we give you the spell tag because you are going to get the stuns and slows. I think that's fine. Increased slow is okay for you. Yeah, I mean, it can't be worse than, 32. So let's try this new strat and see how far we get. All right, so it wasn't as better, or it wasn't better than our best attempt, but it was as good, so that is something. We'll hit retry here so we can restart at wave 25. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode. I think next episode we're gonna go back to some of these early routes like 2-2 and 2-3, as well as 1-3, to try to hit the fabled wave 100. So be sure to tune into that one. I think we're gonna save the 691 cassette cache, just because every single time we have fought a new boss, we have had to add a new Pokemon onto our team, such as the Arbok and the where is it, Ariados from the last episode. So we'll keep this in case we do need to add a new Pokemon and get them to level up within the same range as our others here. So with that being said, I'm Free99. You've all been amazing. I'll catch you next time.